Oli and Louie.
We on?
We are on from Lime Cordiale.
Cool.
Thanks for joining us. I know you're super busy.
Yeah.
But I just
Not really at the moment.
Okay. What's been happening? Why aren't you busy? The virus, I guess.
Yeah, the virus. I'm glad you said the virus instead of COVID-19. Everyone has to say COVID-19. But yeah, we just had some tours cancelled. Europe tour and 2 American tours. So it's going to be like a really overwhelmingly busy year this year.
Right.
It's kind of nice just to be chilling.
Because last year was pretty busy too, eh?
Yeah.
What did we do? 110 shows or something?
Yeah, I think we were
back
sort
to
of
back. I remember watching it on Instagram when you were in Europe and stuff. Kind of giving me anxiety.
Yeah.
Just because, like the frequency of the gigs, like pretty much every night you had to travel to the next city. And fuck, I don't know.
It's pretty insane.
How do you cope with that?
I think the fact that it's Europe, and it was our first Europe tour, was like definitely a way of coping.
Right.
Because you're in a new city. The only thing is that like majority of the time you only see the venue, you only see the stage, the venue, and like maybe the bar next door, and then your hotel.
Yeah.
Like you go into this very historical town or something, or you're in Paris and you've just gotten there as the sun's going down, you can't go out, and then you back to your hotel and then move on to the next day. So you're like,
but you must be like pretty drained once you're sort of a few weeks in. Like, how do you muster the
I think you build up a tolerance as well to it. Like we played one show last week, like an online thing, and we played like a half an hour, and at the end I was like, oh god,
I need to lie down.
You do. You get really used to it, and I don't know what happens with your vocal cords and stuff, because sometimes we'll do an Australian leg of shows and there'll be 3 shows in a row and your voice is done, but we did 30 or something in a row over there.
But you lip sync a lot of your stuff.
Yeah, we mime a lot of it, which helps. Which is good.
But the online stuff must be weird because you're not getting energized from like an audience, right?
The online stuff now, the coronavirus shows,
it's pretty weird. You finish a song and it's just silence.
Yeah. It's
or like a comment bings up.
Boing. Like.
Yeah.
Love.
I definitely don't get the buzz from that at all.
What platform are you doing that on?
We did one that was live on Facebook. We did 2 that were live on Facebook, and we've done one that was live on Instagram. And yeah, I mean, they seem to get a lot of traction and people seem to really like them, but it's just not, I don't know.
I guess in
all
some
that
ways
stuff you love
like,
from a live show is just not
it's
there.
intimate for some people, isn't it?
Yeah.
But probably not.
I think
how
so.
you want to perform.
Yeah, I find them kind of interesting. You know, if one of your favourite artists is doing one, you kind of see the environment they're in, the room around them, and a lot of the time it must be their apartment or wherever they're living. It's pretty interesting.
We were saying yesterday it's always nice to just like look into somebody else's house.
Yeah.
So you guys are kind of creepy in that regard then.
Yeah.
I just find that there's something to be said about artists being a little bit mysterious and not really having not seeing their bedroom and I don't know. I kind of like
the mystique.
I like the mystique, and I like thinking that they're this kind of godly creature, and I have an imagination. My imagination goes, their house must look like this, and they don't sleep, they just work all day. But then when you see them just like having a cup of tea,
2-bedroom apartment,
it sort of spoils it a little bit for me.
Yeah, right. So who were you on that note? Who were your kind of godlike figures when you were sort of younger?
It depends what point in time, really. Like,
well, yeah. I mean,
there's the Wiggles.
My son's musical godfather.
Yeah,
it's quite an eclectic.
Yeah, there's a progression. I mean, I think we grew up, firstly on the Wiggles. So we listened to the Wiggles a lot, which I think have some pretty amazing music. I really like it.
I was having a chat with someone. Who was that the other day? A friend of mine, Josh. How his daughter is of the kind of Wiggles, getting into the Wiggles age, and he's just like, I can't do it.
Yeah,
I can't do it. It's not
better than a lot of stuff, I think. But yeah, there was
another. You clearly rate them.
I mean, I was just a big
strong influence.
I missed out on their last tour.
The original Wiggles.
The original Wiggles.
Okay.
And they did that original
OG
tour
Wiggles.
recently for over 18s. Did you hear about that? They did like a pub tour around Australia.
The originals.
The original guys. And like you could go to wherever,
Metro
Pittwater RSL, or I think they did like a Metro theatre, and you could go check out the Wiggles and have a beer.
Were they the Cockroaches or they were the Wiggles?
No, it was the Wiggles singing the
Wiggles
songs that we grew up on. So there was just people with beers, just like toot toot chugga big red cock.
Yeah.
And just getting so into it.
Crowd surfing.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, I wasn't expecting the Wiggles. Anyone else?
Well, yeah, there was like Louis mentioned the other day this guy called Hans Paulson, who was this like hippie artist that had these Beatle-esque songs that I think it was kind of like parents' friend, but there's a bit of stuff on like YouTube and Spotify. Hans Paulson,
Right.
and he like had these he did this kids album that was really, really nice, Beatle-esque, and
It's great.
yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe we can put a link to something at the bottom of the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we sort of went on to like listening to Beatles, and Mum got us like a Elvis greatest hits album.
Oh, good one.
When we were probably like when I was 6 or something as a birthday present, and just listened to that on repeat. Yeah. Yeah, but that was the early stages of listening.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. But
So was your mum instrumental in sort of exposing you to kind of good quality music and sort of a range of artists, being we should sort of preface that she's a music teacher and has been for a long time.
Yeah.
So was she sort of cautious of the music that you listen to?
Definitely sort of pushed us into playing instruments. So
Right.
then, and like classical music. So we both Ollie played classical clarinet and I played classical trumpet growing up.
Right. From what age were you?
Or maybe 7 or 8.
yeah,
something.
and recorder. I think we both played recorder before that.
Yeah, and a bit of piano.
A bit of piano, but she was always playing cello and had other violinists and piano players around, or we'd go. I remember because we lived on Scotland Island, which is an island of 800 people. It's where we grew up, and we'd like row the boat over to the other side, Elvina Bay, which is this small little bay, and there was a Italian piano player that she'd have a cello with her and play with him, for the whole day, and we'd just sort of like potter around there while they were playing.
Oh, really?
So just sort of stuff like that probably plays a part. Just being around live music, I think it's pretty
Building
important.
like a foundation.
Yeah.
And so were you sort of compliant kids, like wanting to
Playing.
play the clarinet and the recorder, or were you like, fuck, there's cooler things to do, Mum?
We had
No,
that.
I think we liked playing them for sure. There's definitely stages where you just, I don't know, want to cry and have a hissy fit and throw it away
Yeah.
and be like, oh, I'm gonna quit this.
Yeah.
Don't want to continue.
Was she on your kind of case all the
she's
time?
just like, that's not an option.
It
That's
wasn't
something.
even. She never really said it though. It was more just that it wasn't an option.
Yeah.
It's just that we play music, and we have to practice an hour a day, and we just knew that. It wasn't ever. Oh, I don't want to practice, and it was just. Sometimes we'd try and delay it a little bit, but we just knew that was just part of life.
Well, I even mentioned to your mum the other day or the other week now, at your birthday party actually, that
Yeah.
Tashi was going to give up violin, and it was like I was talking to his mum. She was just like, "No, he's not. No, he's not going to give that up." Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, just backed into a corner. Like, all right, well,
Sorry.
on he goes with it then.
Yeah. I should have warned you that it was.
Yeah.
It's not the sentence that
You bring up.
You bring up to
Yeah.
it. Yeah, we did have a big instrument chart on the wall, and it had a whole bunch of instruments, and it was
I'm drinking your water.
That's
that
all right.
You can't have anymore.
oh yeah, I guess not. But you can.
Yeah.
So you can get sick.
You've either given it to me, I don't want to risk giving it to you.
We had this sort of instrument chart, and we'd like choose which one. We'd always point at the instruments that we liked. And so I was really into the saxophone, and that's why I started playing clarinet, because it's kind of like, if you can play the clarinet, you can play the saxophone, and I think you just, I don't know, probably always like the trumpet or something, hey?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
yeah.
I remember.
That's all through your teens and...
Yeah, and then we just sort of like jumped on guitars, and Louis played bass just so we could like write songs.
Right.
That's the thing with like an instrument, you've got an instrument in your mouth, you can't sing.
Yeah, true.
So if you're playing piano or guitar, like, you can write songs, and that's what's so nice about that.
Can you remember that moment where you're like, I'm going to write my own song? Like,
I don't know, not really. Like, I think it was just kind of, we just probably wrote little things just for fun all the time. I remember like our first Lime Cordiale song, we were overseas, family holiday in France, and we just sort of wrote a couple of weird songs.
Who's got to take off his shoes?
Yeah. You take off your shoes when you come and see me.
You don't play that live anymore.
We don't play that one, but like the second one was Bon Nuit Je Suis, which is our first single. You can get it on iTunes, it's not on Spotify though. And that was just a pretty strange song with clarinet and trumpet all through it and everything.
Right. And is that, at that point, is Lime Cordiale just you boys?
Yeah, it was just us. We were already calling ourselves the Limes, and we were at a classical music festival called Musique Cordiale, which is in the south of France, run by our aunt. And so we were like, oh, we should make a band called Lime Cordiale. It's this amazing idea that we had.
Do you find that you have to explain what Lime Cordiale, like
yeah,
the roots of
constantly.
that? Yeah,
constantly. Americans say cordial.
Yeah,
Lime cordial.
I think most people, a lot of people say cordial, right?
Yeah,
cordial.
Miss out the E.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that fucking
sounds
frustrating?
Yeah, it's frustrating.
I mean,
It's not at all, but it's
most band names get mispronounced, Spinal Tap sort of thing.
I've never heard that.
No? Yeah.
Okay, so you're writing your own song, but how old were you here?
18 or something.
18.
Yeah.
I was 18.
I think, you might have been a bit younger, because our first few gigs, I think you were under 18, and we had to sort of sneak you into a venue.
Oh yeah, true.
Some of the early
17
ones.
maybe.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're at art college, is that right?
Yeah. Well, after high school, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Had a gap year and then went to art college.
Yeah.
For 4 years with some.
What sort of art are you studying?
I was doing fine arts.
Yeah, right.
So like just painting and drawing and screen printing and printmaking
And is all that kind of taken a sideline now?
I still do a lot of the art for sort of album covers and design all our like posters and single art stuff, but as sort of like a full-time career, like I don't have any exhibitions or really sell any of my art.
He's got this. He's got a very slow medium of art as well with lino cut. So it's like just to do a poster, he has to kind of sit away in his room or wherever his workshop is.
It just doesn't really work on the road as well. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't really paint when we're touring, so or draw or doodle or anything really.
So do you feel that side of you? Obviously, there's a creative in the music, but do you feel like that side of your creative personality is on hold or stifled, or you haven't thought about it?
Not really. I haven't thought about it. I'm not like too worried about it.
Yeah.
I love like when I get back into it, I'm like, oh, this is great. Like,
yeah.
Definitely like fills some sort of void.
Yeah.
Some hunger for creativity, but I don't like when I'm not doing it. I'm not missing it a lot.
Yeah, right.
I guess because we're doing something else that's creative. So it's...
And what does the creative process between you guys look like for you?
In terms of writing, or
yeah, you're a bit like Bernie Taupin and Elton John, or
I don't know. We're so like mixed sort of writing patterns. Like
it's
I'll
definitely
write a full song and bring it to Oli, and we'll then like 90% worth take it to Oli, and we'll finish it together, or like could be 50-50, or
there's no
we'll
sort
start on like
there's no rules. There's definitely like I wouldn't say it's like competitive at all, but there's definitely a sense of like if Louis writing a song, like I'll be like, oh shit, he's writing. Like maybe
I'll write too.
I want to do some writing. So then we'll be writing like at the same time in different rooms, and then you sort of, when your creative juices slow down, you're like, I'll wander into Louie's room and be like, cool, so what are you doing? And he'll play me something, and then then we'll sort of collaborate and join forces, and
there's a lot
put
of,
some guitar down.
Strength in that then.
It's good.
There's two writers in a band.
Yeah, you can.
There's also a lot of half-written songs that sort of like just are written because the other person is writing. Right. So you're like, oh, got to
do something.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely pros and cons. Like there's it's sometimes you'll start something, think it's really good, and you'll want to go show. I'll go and show Louie, and he'll be like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. And I'll go, oh, okay, and then I'll like, we'll stop working on that for a little bit, and vice versa. But then you come back a bit later, and he'll say, what about that song that you showed me ages ago? That was awesome. Or I listened to that again and I really liked it. And then it has like a second win. We never really ever write a full song. It's pretty rare that we write a full song and it's finished. And that's pretty close.
Because you want that sounding board at some point in that process to see if you're on the right path, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it just takes some time for like the whole thing to develop, and like it's
and to know whether you like it or not. I think you like something so much in like the moment when you're creating it.
When it feels good.
When it feels good, and then you'll listen back to it, maybe whatever you're working on, it just gets sick of it.
Right.
And you just toss it away, or listen back on it a week later and it's a piece of shit.
Right.
You shouldn't have written it.
Yeah. Sometimes you do feel like a song is like amazing, and you listen back and it's just horrible. You're like, how did I think that was so great?
Yeah.
And it's
so what's the hit or the miss rate then? So out of 10, how many of the songs that you start writing go all the way through to completion? Then you
maybe like
0.3
out of 10.
Oh really?
Well,
0.3 out of 10.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, like
for our
last album we wrote probably over 100 songs.
Oh really?
Yeah, and you end up choosing like 10 to 12.
Yeah,
and they're finished songs as well, so there's like a whole bunch.
Well, 100 finished songs, and you pick 10 out of those.
Yeah, pretty finished songs.
So if there's 100 finished songs, there must be like, according to your figures, like 3,000.
There's a lot of songs, that are just lost in your computer, and
I'm surprised you boys get out. Jesus Christ! Like
sometimes like a song can just be written in a night, and then you sort of put it away, and it's either a contender or it's not.
Right.
So
who are you being inspired by at the moment?
Probably, I don't know, probably like Tame Impala stuff, the new Tame Impala album. It's pretty cool. Leon Bridges stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. What have we been listening to?
I don't know. We tend to we share the same Spotify account, so we're constantly like I really like discovering new music. No, I mean it's kind of definitely. But when I like a song, then I know that Louie's going to hear it, and if Louie likes a song, he knows I'm going to hear it. And I think discovering music, maybe there's a little bit of a competitive part of that as well. It's like if I find a new song, he goes, have you heard that song by this artist called? Well, I'm like, yeah, dude, I found that. And so, I think discovering new music there's always like a buzz with that, and Spotify is really cool with your Discover playlist, because I feel like it's so on point. Yeah, most of those songs good, in those playlists I like.
Yeah,
and because they just know what you're listening to, and but like just a massive range. We've been listening to Bill Withers recently because he just passed away, and like constantly listening to the Beatles, and like you're often finding Beatles songs that you've either forgotten or haven't even really heard properly before, and that's always a bit of a buzz. But
so I also love Beatles or Stones for you guys.
Definitely
Beatles.
Really? Yeah. I love the Stones, but just like you put a Stones album on and then you go to a Beatles album, you just like
really.
It's just
yeah.
I don't know.
You might have to fall out, Louie.
Yeah, sorry.
But don't. I mean, we in Europe we did a thing where each day we were going to listen to a new Beatles album. So we started from the start. We did it chronologically. And we started did an album, listen to it, and you just go, oh my god, this is so good. And then the next day you put on the next album, and then we were like, maybe we should do this with a few other artists, and we started with the Stones, and it just didn't fly. Yeah.
That's so surprising. I just find the Beatles, like, they have moments of sublimeness.
Yeah.
And then they just have these bubblegum pop songs that mean nothing to me.
But we are bubblegum pop.
Yeah,
those songs mean a lot to us. Yeah. With the Stones, it just feels like, they're kind of, the Beatles are just so perfect, and I think just in every way, and it's just so amazing.
Alright.
It is, but like everything in every Beatles song is just like, I just can't fault anything that they do.
But they're so eclectic that they can't be hitting the target each time.
I don't know. They are for me.
Whereas where the Stones is just like, they've got the roots in blues, rhythm and blues, and then they don't really deviate from that.
Yeah.
There's probably one album that was a bit of a Sgt. Pepper's for them.
Yeah.
So you kind of know what you're going to get with the Stones. They're raw. They've got this masculine energy. Like the sounds on their instruments are very distinctive. Whereas I don't feel the same with the Beatles. I just feel like you never know what you're going to get, depending on which album.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe when you do know them, you kind of do. When you sort of do know what you're going to get when you know it so well.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't know.
I think that's what I like about it, the change, the movement.
Yeah, right. I'm not going to convince you, am I?
No.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty free.
At least you can still go and see the Stones.
What's that?
At least you can still go and see the Stones.
You can go see Ringo or something.
Yeah.
It's not really the same.
He doesn't fucking age, that man.
Yeah.
He looks incredible.
It's all the peace and love.
Yeah, he's a real peace and love kind of guy, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
It's quite beautiful. And so I hear on the grapevine there's potential collaboration with Post Malone. I say that like I know who he is.
Yeah.
I don't really.
We didn't really know who he was, like a year ago. But now that we've sort of like partnered up with their team over in the States, I mean, we weren't going to be coming back to Australia as soon as we did. We're going to go up to his house in Utah, which is like this huge mansion, and supposedly it's set up for like a virus like this. Yeah, sex parties as well. But like he's got these bunkers that you could potentially live in for up to 3 years or something.
Right.
So it was probably the perfect place to go to, but we ended up having to come home. It was just so much pressure from every newspaper article that you read was like, come home now if you're Australian, and we'd sort of call mum and dad and we're like, oh, we're gonna just like, we'll be back in like a week, and they were like, get on a plane, and we, even our travel agent was like, highly recommend you get on a plane. So
otherwise you're sort of stuck there.
Could be stuck there. We actually didn't have any insurance to cover the coronavirus over there, and it was, States is not looking good now, so probably a pretty smart idea.
He'll be alright though.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's pretty good.
Bunker down with a tattoo gun probably.
But the plan was to sort of get onto his on his album or have a jam. I know we had a FaceTime with him. He's just like, yo, I just bought like an amplifier for $150,000 and a guitar for $200,000, and I haven't played it yet, so we should jam and write some music. And we're like, shit, that sounds pretty good. Yeah.
But what's his backstory? Like, my son brought him up, I don't know, a couple of months ago. I hadn't heard of him from a bar of soap. Don't know his music. But all of a sudden he's like Spotify #1 artist in the world.
Yeah.
I guess it shows my age. I'm so disconnected from.
Well, it's only been like a 4-year climb or something for him, but he came from gaming, or like he was living in a house with a whole bunch of gamers, and gamers are huge, like they just play video games, everyone watches that, and they just blow up. And if you have music on those video games or on their YouTube videos of them playing video games, they can blow artists up as well. So I don't know how he actually got in there, but he ended up getting signed to a label and just sort of blew up from there over a short period of time.
Yeah, wow.
The manager that manages us, his name's Jay London, and he sort of like I think he was quite a small manager, and had a small management team. So he like went into this house, found, his name's Austin, Post Malone. I think they sort of grew together very quickly as well.
Right.
So the manager, Dre, he likes these sort of underground artists or these unheard of artists. I think that's why we've sort of connected so well.
Right. But your stake in the game has been a lot longer than his, right? So this is 4 years. You've had this. How long is your?
Yeah, like 10 years or something 10 for years, us. Right. And he was a bit of an entrepreneur. I don't know what he was doing. He was kind of in real estate or something before. He's an English guy that moved to New York, and I think he was a drug dealer in London or something back in the day.
Tats as a real estate.
He doesn't have the tats. Post, he's got all the jail tats, but Post is really funny in the way that he's like a bit of a nerd, like he's pretty chill and like super lovely. As soon as you talk to him, the tats sort of disappear, It's quite warm face, but when you don't really know him, it looks like he's
trouble,
done time.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty hectic.
Yeah, when we were speaking to him on the phone, he was like playing with this little kitten. And he was like, "Oh, this cute little kitten. He's just so beautiful."
But then 2 seconds later, he held up his handgun.
Right.
Don't know what to expect.
An interesting phone call.
Yeah, sounds it.
Yeah.
So that 10-year evolution for you guys, I'd love to hear how. Obviously, you've been gaining momentum, gaining success, and now you're on Triple J and you Hottest 100 and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the audience size has obviously grown over those years. So I'd love to know like how you have changed as a performer and or as a human, going from playing to, I don't know, I'm guessing you're playing in pubs and clubs in the early days to 2-3 people or whatever, up to like thousands now. Like what's the sort of anxiety levels when you go on stage
now,
back then to
back
now?
It's scarier back then than what it is now.
And because there's a bunch of people that want to see you now.
We find it easier playing in front of 3,000 people than playing in front of 50 people.
Yeah.
Because you don't have... When there's 50 people, you're watching everyone's faces.
You
can stare someone right in the eye and they look straight back at you when you're playing, and you just feel like they're watching your every move.
Right.
But when there's like just sort of more of a sea of people, it's just like you don't really look at anyone. You might look at a few people in the front row that are just getting crushed or something, but I don't know, it just feels easier. And also there's a level of you know what they're going to do. Like, that there's certain beats in the set that they'll like, or when they will cheer, you just know how to judge a bigger group of people. Whereas there's 50 people, like, they might not dance at all, or they might go nuts.
You kind of need like a critical mass where it's big enough that
for sure
a mob kind of.
Yeah, so like it was a big change for us going to Europe, and the venues were like we're playing to 100 to 200 or 300 people, and had just been playing to large crowds in Australia. So it was kind of felt like it went back to the beginning, and it was pretty nice. It was a bit more of a challenge, and you can hang at the pub that you're playing at beforehand and afterwards and meet everyone, and it's
the same for you, Louie, because you're obviously sort of the front man, the singer, so you're right at the front of the stage. And probably, I'm guessing, more people looking at you than any other member of the band throughout the duration of the concert. So do you feel that? Like, do you feel like this sort of...
Yeah, I mean, I find it definitely harder to play in front of smaller crowds, especially like family and friends. I can't do it. But I love playing in front of big crowds, and like you feel it a lot more. And
so you don't
kind of be...
So there's no anxiety like beforehand?
There's excitement and
that's so good.
Different feelings, but not really anxiety unless your voice isn't feeling good or there's something like that, but not because of there being a lot of people there.
And do you find like obviously now you've doing amazingly well, lots of gigs and Triple J and all that stuff. Like, do you find that the ambition goal just moves along? So you're always kind of chasing that. You probably hope to be on Triple J at one point, and now you are. So what?
Yeah,
like
I think about that a lot. It's kind of always chasing the dragon or whatever. It's like, it's pretty interesting because you're like, when are you truly satisfied?
Yeah. Because you'll never catch up to that point.
No, and I think early on we sort of set ourselves a few goals, and one of them was just to be able to like travel around the world doing what we wanted to do, like being able to play music. And so we've sort of been doing that, you know, quite a lot over the last couple of years, and that's been feeling really satisfying. And I think the second one was like being able to just quit the jobs that we didn't like doing. And so, you know, we've done that now as well, not that long ago.
Oh, really?
I mean, it sort of phased out. We're doing less and less work, and but now
that must feel good, hey? Like,
yeah, it feels great.
Yeah.
Feels like I'm not doing enough though.
Yeah, right.
I should be still doing. It's always because it's like you're tossing between the two, like playing music, which is for fun or something, and working to make the money.
Feels a bit disingenuous
to fund
Yeah. But
I reckon just lap it up, Louie. Just fucking
enjoy. Not there yet.
Not many people have that privilege to do what they love and get paid for it.
Yeah.
Just lap it up.
No, it's crazy. But it took a long time, and it definitely feels pretty nice.
So is there a bit of uncertainty about Lime Cordiale's future at the moment with the virus, or are you sort of planning end of year stuff?
We've got like a whole Australian tour planned for the end of the year, and lots of stuff planned for next year, and we're like just about to release an album and stuff. So it's kind of looking. The timing's pretty good for us. It's definitely worked in our favour. Like we were managed to like finish an album, do all the artwork, film a video clip for it, for like the singles. Like it's kind of.
So when does that come out?
In beginning of July. We're actually pretty lucky because we're trying to get this album out end of last year and get it all finished and get it out. But because of different our partnership with the guys in the States, we sort of held it back to see what they wanted to do with it, which sort of frustrated us. We just wanted to get the album out. But it's actually worked in our favour because we've sort of still got this album to release now, and not much else is going on. But yeah, I mean, we'll just keep writing and recording, and like we're pretty lucky that this didn't happen to us, this time last year, because that was a really crucial time for us to just be playing a lot. And the Triple J Hottest 100 thing was like really good because we played so many shows. I think we were just fresh in everyone's mind. It was I voted for them. I saw them last week. So that definitely played a big part.
Has that been a big kind of leg up for you guys? Like, have you noticed anything in terms of like audience size on Instagram and all that sort of jazz? Like,
I think so. Like, it's one of those things that you don't really feel it the next day. There wasn't like a lot of press going out saying like these guys did this and that. But like the year before when we had one song in, I feel like that was like in retrospect, looking back, I think it was a pretty big deal because we suddenly got asked to play on a whole bunch of festivals, and we weren't just getting paid like $100 to play on a festival.
The size of your name is getting bigger and bigger on
the poster.
Yeah,
when the font size goes up, it's getting better. And like, getting played on the radio heaps, like that was something that, I guess, back to your question of chasing that, what's next, that's been really good for us over the last year in Australia, and we can sort of sustain ourselves if gigs open up at the end of this year, which I'm hoping they do, fingers crossed, then everything's pretty good. But we were sort of concentrating on overseas, and that's been put on hold a little bit.
I think I anticipate like once we sort of return to normal and the virus kind of dissipates and we're all back to good.
Yeah.
Like there's just going to be this upswell of like people wanting to connect again.
Yeah.
So I reckon there'll be all these like
Physically, you mean? Like in the same space or?
yeah,
Yeah.
and dance and sing, and
I think
like
so.
it's going to be a good time for festivals and music
Definitely
and live music.
missing that already. Like this last weekend when it was kind of, Easter weekend, normally you'd have Blues Fest going now and like a whole bunch of shows happening in the city. It's like I could definitely feel this longing to just go to see some live music, and I think a lot of people are starting to get that a lot. I don't know whether people are going to be a bit more OCD in a venue, like stop sweating on me.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I wonder what the long-term repercussions of it all are, whether we'll go back to shaking hands or travelling with masks, on planes and stuff like that.
I guess it depends on how long it's hanging around elsewhere, other places in the world. Yeah.
But for the moment, you're just hunkered in your shed, just writing music.
Yeah.
Writing music and I think there's a lot of stuff to keep going with as musicians. You can keep writing and you can keep doing a whole bunch of stuff online. And there's definitely other creatives, actors, and what are they doing? Just doing yoga.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Or maybe like Sam Neill, just putting up crazy stories.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Just hanging with his pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just bought chickens though, so we've got eggs in an incubator waiting for them to hatch. So we might be a bit more like Sam Neill at home.
Yeah. You can build your chicken pen.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you're starting with the egg.
Starting with the egg.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the answer to that question, isn't it?
I don't know where the egg came from.
Oh yeah, true. There's
in the dozen pack.
Yeah. They gave it to us in like a Coles caged eggs pack.
Like live eggs.
Just live eggs, but in a thing. It's like, this is it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So how many have you got? A dozen?
12,
Yeah.
12 unhatched at the moment.
Supposedly
So
eight of them will hatch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Would you then eat the
other ones?
Hatch?
Wondering, because the 8 out of the 12 should hatch. So we're thinking, like, should we open up the others and just check it out?
Yeah.
Well, you won't know which one's are which.
Well, they'll be unhatched.
Yeah,
okay.
So we'll
once
wait
the others
3
are
more
hatched.
days and there might be, 4.
Well, I had
sitting
this
there.
thing years ago when I was in the Philippines. It's like street food. It's called balut. And it's a duck embryo.
Oh, no,
about
That's fucked.
14 days prior to hatching. And so the thing's kind of all coiled up.
Oh.
Bones have semi-formed. Feathers are starting to form.
But all soft.
It's all soft, yeah.
Fresh?
And then you just...
No, you're not frying it, or?
No.
Really?
So you get the egg, you pierce it,
Mm.
and you drink the fluid,
Yeah.
and then you peel it, and then what?
That just flops down your
Oh,
throat.
I was burping duck embryo for about 3
Oh,
or 4
that's
days.
disgusting. What did it taste like?
It didn't taste too bad.
Really?
I've got to say.
Oh my god.
It was
Was
edible.
that like a cultural sort of?
Yeah. I remember sitting at a bar, espousing to this local barman that it's really important when you're travelling that you embrace the local culture. Like, just kind of on my high horse here. And then he goes, all right. Just called this like street guy.
So he got you agreeing before.
Yeah. He just had this like little esky. I was like, oh fuck, what am I in here in for now? And he just pulled out this egg, and then just made a hole in it, and the rest.
That's messy.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, did you have an audience around you?
No.
Locals? All right.
No.
So you
Just
could
the bar
openly
staff.
be semi-gagging and...
Yeah. I didn't
right.
have to break.
It'd be worse if you had an audience and you just had this tear just gets down your face and you crack a little smile. It was yum.
Well, let me know what you do with the 4, won't you?
Yeah.
Send them your way.
Yeah.
Package them up.
Right, boys. Well, thank you for your time. It's a
Thanks
pleasure
for having
chatting
us.
to you. All the best for the album and the single.
Cool.
you.
Yeah.
Good on you, boys.
We'll put a bit of kids' music in the description
yeah.
at the bottom of the podcast.
Yeah.
A couple of Wiggle songs and some Hans Paulson.
The Wiggles tour.
Yeah.
There we go, score.
All right, thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Cheers.